has to say. John Hughes, rookie defensive tackle out of Cincinnati and Gahanna High School here in Ohio, our special guest on Special Guest Tuesday here in the studio. Before we go to the phones, John, you know, I want you to comment on what the combine was like for you. It's so important, but you were hampered by a hamstring injury going in.
Yeah, unfortunately, a couple weeks before the combine, I was doing a little pre-testing to see where I was at before I went, and I tweaked my hamstring. So I actually just went there and did interviews and talked to the different coaches and everybody there.
So no physical working out. You had to do the personals?
Yeah, I did like personal interviews, and I ended up doing the bench still. But it's even though I didn't do anything physical except for the bench, I was still exhausted because you're doing something nonstop the entire time you're there for those 2 or 3 days. So,
were you apprehensive going into that?
A little bit, but you know, you just had to relax and do what you got to do where you're there.
How do you like the fans? Isn't this something, this fan base? I mean, growing up as a Browns fan, but that's one thing, but to experience it now as a pro wearing this uniform.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when I was younger, you know, being in Ohio, I go to middle school, and it'd be we played the Steelers. You got guys wearing Bengals stuff, guys wearing Steelers stuff, and then I would say this when but you know, you go home, and then you go to your friend's house, and his mom has Steelers stuff on, and his dad has Brown stuff on. You know, it's crazy that there's so many different fans around, and it's crazy.
Well, a dream come true with young John here. Let's go to Mike in Aurora. Hello, Mike. You're on the air with John Hughes today.
Hey, John. Mike from Aurora. I was really glad to see when the Browns drafted you. I mean, I watched those Cincinnati games. I mean, what you think of all those games you played on Thursday night? You know, that we saw here on ESPN.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last
Your games in college on Thursday nights on national television.
Yeah. Oh, Thursday nights? Oh, night games are always the best. Especially, you know, when you know you're on TV, you know, you got guys in the locker room throwing extra stuff on their arms so they know they're on TV. But no, it's a great feeling. You know, you're under the lights and you're playing a good opponent. You know, you're trying to come out with the victory. And
you know, and you got to be excited about the MAC. And Bruce asked you a lot of questions about Kelly, you know, his time down in Cincinnati, and Notre Dame. So this week, I mean, what is how are you guys preparing for Coach or Kirk Cousins or RG3?
You know, you prepare the same way. You just go in, do what you got to do in practice. You know, keep the same routine. You know, and hopefully keep the same routine with winning.
Mike, thanks very much for the call, my friend. We want to get as many as possible with the limited time that we're going to be featuring, John. We've got Bob from Toledo. Hello, Bob. You're on the air.
How you doing, Bruce?
Good.
Welcome, John, to the Brown family out here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad you're on because I got an offensive question, but it relates to the defense.
Okay.
When you're in your normal stance, do you line up on the tackle or the guard?
It varies. You know, we have certain plays where I line up on the tackle and I line up on the guard, and depending on what kind of formation they're into, there's a lot of stuff that goes in with it, but I do both.
Okay. Now, I come from the offensive side, but my question is, in today's NFL, can I take your legs out from under you? And the way I say that is because I see our offensive line not putting anybody on the ground, like when Whedon throws that quick out to Trent Henderson on the corner. Mm-hmm. He has to throw over the on-rushing lineman instead of putting them to the ground.
Yeah, do you find offensive linemen come at you low?
Sometimes.
Is that still in the rules, though? I mean, they can still take you out as long as you're locked up on with another.
On the offensive line, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're locked up with somebody else, you're not supposed to be able to get cut, but sometimes it happens. But, yeah, when you're, say, like a run, it'll go side to side, and your guy goes away, and you might have a guy come down and cut you, which is, yeah, you got to be able to protect yourself.
Because that's some of my issues. My offensive was I was a quarterback, and my line always took down the lineman, so I would have a throwing lane.
Okay.
To get through there, and that's just what I don't see that the Browns doing that. They don't teach that technique.
Is that hamstring injury before the combine your only serious injury in your career?
Yeah, I didn't really have any serious injuries other than that.
Good for you, because, you know, again, playing the position you do, you just can't help it. You got to play with reckless abandon.
Oh, you have to.
And the way big bodies like yourself and the other guys are being thrown around, injuries are bound to happen.
Yeah, you can't go out there timid. You have to be able to play your best and your 100% each time, without thinking about injury or anything.
Anything else real quick, Bob?
Nope, I just want to wish him good luck and stay healthy.
All right, my friend, I
Thank
thank you for the call. And Dan from Wapakoneta is next with John Hughes today. Hi, Dan. Hello, Dan. Are you there?
Bruce, it's great to be on with you. With such a fine player. I, too, followed him in college and just thought it was an outstanding pick by the Browns, and I know we'll never regret it. John, we're really proud of you as an Ohio boy, too. I was at the game this weekend, and one of the things you mentioned, which I think the rest of the team can learn from, is what you said about finishing. The D-line finishes every freaking play. You guys are outstanding when you do that. So I wanted to make a quick comment there, and then I got a couple questions for you.
All right.
Go ahead.
First question I have for you, what was that first sack like when you had your NFL sack, man?
It was the best feeling ever. Especially, I did it in Cincinnati. That's where I played college ball.
Yeah.
And we played a lot at the Paul Brown Stadium too. So just to do it there, it was great. I had a lot of family and friends there too. So it was a good experience.
Did you graduate from UC, or are you going to graduate?
I graduated last December. I majored in criminal justice and I minored in addiction studies.
Good for you.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. One other quick question for you.
Yep.
Did it really make a difference on the team? I mean, when Kelly left, I mean, do you think that had an impact, that it affected that game strongly? Can you honestly say that?
No, I mean, the way guys thought about the game, they went into the game a little bit, but it didn't change our preparation. We still had our coaches. Kelly was the only one that left, so we still had all our other coaches. But I mean, not necessarily.
But what do you think about the round table of coaches leaving again? They're going to lose their coach. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, but you got to understand it's a business too. They're trying to get better positions just like we are. So it's hard, but you got to be able to fight through it and prove to the next coach that you're able to play.
Dan, thank you very much for the call. We go to Gary calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, of all places. Hello, Gary.
Well, hello, Bruce, and good evening to you, and good evening, John, and welcome to the Browns. It's really good to have you.
See, we got Cleveland fans in Pittsburgh even, huh?
Pittsburgh there, huh?
Yeah, I'm originally from Canton, Ohio. I got transplanted over here, but in any event, John, just a comment. I enjoy watching you, and I enjoy your enthusiasm and your speed that you're using out there. It's refreshing to watch a young man like yourself that goes right after that quarterback like you do. I love watching you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
That's all I had, Bruce.
All right, Gary.
Thank you.
Love you, pal. Go Browns. Thank you for calling in from Pittsburgh. When we return, more of John Hughes, but this time with the STO Social Spotlight. That means Ashley will be joining us in just a moment.
At Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, there are two things you can count on. First is a huge selection, over 3,000 new and used to choose from. And